Okay, so hey, train your plants every day. Jordan Scoville coming at you, STEM Lab. Yeah, we'll do a general end of the day review here. I kind of wanted to take some additional notes on a video that I put up earlier when I took at lunch today, talking about the grind at zero mass and zero force, the secrets of a master mason. What's the secret? Y'all illuminated and stuff like that, and well, there is a lot to it, but you're gonna have to know some physics. You're gonna have to know some math, and maybe there's some natural abilities. Somebody can do some fancy stuff with natural abilities, and it makes a big difference. Maybe you're physically strong. Maybe you're half Asian and you can do great math. All right, sorry, I just had to throw that one in there. Well, whatever the game may be. Um, Maybe it's background, waterfall and where you're born, so survival of, you grew up doing farming, so farming's gonna probably come pretty easy to you. But again, as a STEM mechanics, a abruptly long sequence of reciprocating terms. They're all a resume. They're all a tutorial. They're all a note breakdown system. They all have definitions or multiple definitions that can diverge in this entanglement system of a straight line system. In general relativity, I'm here. Special relativity, at any rate. An AXBX system and AXBY variants on those that also say, well, saws and thermaling are both have an AX system. One to the next, one is an AX, one is a BX algebraically, A is B. But also they have an AXBY system saying timelines can change during the given model. This thermaling process, this cut, that they still have an AXBX system, but we're making decisions. One's general relativity, if you will, and one's special relativity. That helps, that you know some of that background of that. It's going to say, hey, well, there's no reason I shouldn't do anything. I can't do anything. You can be a gray farmer. You can be a landscaper. You can be a carpenter. You could be president if you wanted to. Go get you some. And the reality is with training and time, and you could get there. Maybe you have some reasons why it takes you longer or not longer or whatever that variable may be. But the reality is you can absolutely do. But I wanted to talk about more some of the features as, illuminated, spectrums, light games, you're a photon here. That's a particle. The particle is an A, you in the shop today. Jordan moving through his moves for the day. Jordan moves here, he's this percentage of this, he's moving through. Old Murphy, he's doing rapid deceleration of a rocky. Y'all know Murphy. Yeah, one person named Murphy out there, and you can watch him do his day. You can see the negatives, you can see the positives, you can see the ones and the zeros all add up. So some of the features, that you can learn, is mass, physical changing by it's essentially telekinesis. By physics. Again, maybe you have some natural abilities I don't know about. Hey, I'm not going to judge and say you don't. This is YouTube. It can go out to anybody. But the idea is let's just say for practical reasons, for direct physics, for applied physics, most people, they're not going to have this natural ability. So what would you generally need to get there? What would you really generally need to know? Telekinesis. Pick up that rock with your mind. Well, you need to engineer a fork truck. And to know physics about that. The given weight, how to make it move. But also on the floor operations to make that load a lot lighter every day. You're going to need to know some things about how STEM physics works. How the operation in this observable universe works. Because it's going to make that load a lot less. It's going to make your daily moves move much more smoothly, not jerky, just winging that shit across the room or barely picking it up. Maybe it wiggles a little bit. Some people just can't roll tread. Some people can't work at McDonald's. Some people can't psychology. Some people can't math. But there is no difference. You're going to have to know the physics of it. Math has symbols and things that change under this idea, and put next to another symbol, it's going to change how that relates. And then you're going to put a number next to it, or a given field mass, that's going to calculate. And you add these two things together and multiply them, and it changes their value. You go pi, I'm going to do that, and then everything changes. What you're talking about changes, and you're just going to get used to that physics after a while. Same game in psychology, same game with, and I'll be bold here and I'll say copying, judging, congressing, whatever the game may be, case by case, frame of reference. That is the observable universe. That's the stone dock. That's the stone. That is the element. That is the frame. The black hole, whatever. Hadron Collider has these particles inside of that thing go off. If that's what gives it enough electromagnetic barrier to withstand it inside of that, to say, we're going to put some magnets over here, and we're going to put a wall over here, and that's what makes it a Congress versus anything else, a government, a nation. And Sun Tzu, greatest victory of any nation, or what is the fifth dimensional calculation in terms of the spectrum, general ground law, Haven Way, and any one of those changes, those are your symbols. Those are the things that change with it. The numbers are going to change to it. But there you go. That's how you start to physically gauge telekinesis, if you will. And maybe, with training and things like that, hey, I learned those things, I'm doing those things, it's going to maybe you'll get there one day. Maybe you'll be able to pick some shit up with your brain, literally, like sci-fi movie kind of craziness. Who knows? But I would imagine, it's going to start there. Those are the you're building, you're getting smarter, you're planning 2 or 3 things. You're looking at one thing as if it's 80 things. Your brain's working harder, you're doing a lot more with it. And obviously it applies through. So another great secret, they'll tell you, and there's a lot of good workers out there that already know this, they use it every day. It's telekinesis, or telepathy. You want to have telepathy, dealing with people. You want to control somebody with your brain? Know the fucking physics. You look at your managers, you look at your, your higher ranking officers, in the shop and things like that, or every day, or just the person. I say there's no such thing as general labor, only generals doing labor. Look at that crew guy. We know certain hand signals, but a lot of times we can be looking across the shop and I could go, and they will know exactly what I'm talking about. There's times when I'm working in line with people and I just give them that look, and they know exactly what I'm talking about. I made the hit. It didn't work. Just a little bit of a facial recognition. It could speak volumes in terms of what that is. Start there. You don't need to necessarily go full-on Professor Xavier right on your first day. Maybe that's a little too much for you anyways. Slow down. Take it easy. Take a breath, man. This is not something you're going to get overnight. It takes some time to get used to your crew. It takes some time to learn what physics is. At some point in time, you had to learn what A was. You had to learn what 1 was. You didn't just come out. And, you were born. You were shitting your pants. Couldn't fucking walk. Couldn't handle a sippy box if you tried. So, if today is the first day for you, that this stuff is new to you, take it in consideration. That is a reality. You might need to just start over, that you're going to have to look at things like that. Look at your hand signals with you. That's a new universe every day when you look into that person's reality every day. You're the person you work next to, your kids, your dog, your family life and things like that, to be aware of those things and everyday physics around your life. Take your house, take your bills, take your anything that would file into that idea. And now start thinking about what other fucking people may be thinking about when they're that particle in that position. And you start to break down not just the physical world around them, but the physics of those persons. Generalize it. Fucking guess. Swag that shit out. Scientific wild-ass guess in terms of a science, technology, engineering process, and a seed environment of space of exact energy design. You have to start somewhere, man. I don't know what the fuck that is till I put it in the ground and it grows. Nobody did. Then it did, and everybody's like, well, general relativity, that's a maple tree. I'll tell you like that. Bang. And you're going to get good with doing that. That's looking at spectrums, playing in degrees. What genus and species of that seed are you in right now? What gravity dictates why it decided to grow the way it did? Because of the place you are on the earth. And I'm not getting into flat earther bullshit. Don't even get me fucking started. Okay, I'll smack some Murphys. Where's my wrench? Damn it. Anyways, quantum mechanics, wrench. At any rate, there's a reason that tree bent that way. There's a reason physically when you start to look at things that beyond telekinesis, beyond telepathy, that you could deal with potentially dictating certain futures. With air turbulence equations and things like that, we call it meteorology. And in higher levels of in other forms of astrology, sorry, I got cut off here. We call it cosmetology. Well, what basically is that? It's blueprinting. It's mapping. It's inventing this system. As an invention, I made a bow fishing rig and some hillbilly spinners. I didn't know if they really worked. I had to tweak them. I had to adapt them. Sometimes, I've been working on some of them for years. A code that I've been adapting for a very, very long time. But it basically starts as a blueprint. When you're looking at physical telekinesis or telepathy or swag, STEM, versions of it anyways, what you're doing is you're blueprinting. You're inventing a system. You don't know if it'll truly work yet. Just because it didn't work doesn't necessarily... everybody's heard the fucking not Tesla, but Edison there. He had to do a million light bulbs before he got the first one to go right, but he learned a million ways not to make a light bulb. And he probably learned a little trick about everything. When you do this to this other element, it does this. And then you make this other fucking invention. There's a phonograph, You gotta be sensible about those things. You just may not know how they all correlate and everything yet. And you're gonna put that together. You're gonna blueprint this stuff out. You're gonna work it. Just like your blueprint at the shop and all your tutorials, once you put them together, and you're hey, this one works here. And during the day, I got a different order and a different setup. I got this person coming at me and this other thing and how things affect. And you don't necessarily need it to be in just the shop. It can be, this how this affects. I'm going to take shit I learned at home and I'm going to put it at work. And I'm going to put that one right there. And it's a big hub. It goes right in the middle of most of it. And that thing twirly whiz bangs like you would not believe. And you're going to stay on that, and you're going to hammer them through, and you're going to get good at it. You're going to adapt to it, you're going to situate it to it, and eventually, hopefully, you're going to get good at it. And, human nature says we don't get everything the first try. 99% of the time, we don't get it. There's an exception to every rule, and, it's Murphy. Can, it will, that's, at any rate. Don't be so locked in with everything. That's what I'll tell you. That's any finishing notes here. But at the same time, expect the results you plan to come out. You'll know immediately. Listen to the divine wind, Sun Tzu. A lot of that was their physics. That was their calligraphy at the time. It was their teaching method, trying to teach them something. And for me, I always kind of looked at that like, there's going to be bells and whistles and gears grinding. When you're planning out your blueprints, when you're looking at it from now over to there before you're the fucking cog in the gear that's right there right now, just being that turn. You gotta be more than that, man. You gotta be in front of that thing, because otherwise you're just gonna get chewed up by the machine. You're just gonna get eaten alive. And I would want anything better than any of that for anybody. I do this for me, but I also do it for the human Murphys out there, that want to try to do better. And I hope I gave you a little something. Hey, you want a secret? If nobody knows quantum mechanics or physics, you know all kinds of them. Go out there and fucking tweet it up, Go out there and have some fun with it, But this is all stuff you can get in books. Somebody started this stuff before it was in a book. Guess what? For them, it was a big secret. And then word got out, and then you could say whatever you want. War is deception. Well, physics by that notation has all kinds of different terms that mean multiple things. So it's not really deception at all. It's just the way things are.